Alrighty, welcome back to another video. So we've just finished the Goblin event and now we have the summons. So let's have a look at some of the legendary new goblins that are in the server right now. Smart Tongue, 5-star green ranger. All these goblins have the family bonus for 1, 2 or 3 heroes. Each time this hero takes damage from an enemy's special skill, removes 30%, 60% or 100% boosted health from all enemies. This can be very good to kind of accelerate the match. If you have her on like offense, you have a goblin on offense, you get to take away 30% boosted health from all enemies every time she gets hit by a special skill. And I guess if you have like the full range, if you have 3 unique goblins on your offense, every time they get hit, they just remove all the boosted health. So all those heroes like Hathor, Mewini, Talassa, Aramis, all those they basically get their boosted health removed, and it makes it easier to kind of go through the battle. The same thing with them being on on defense as well. If you hit them, then they kind of stop you from having a high sustain level on offense. They're trying to bring it back to ground, kind of like accelerate the pace of the battle. They also have this another special, effects on special skill. 30% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill. Deals 70% damage to all enemies, and all enemies get negative 25% accuracy for 3 turns. You kind of see this a lot on the newer heroes, where they, apart from their special skill, they also deal a certain amount of minor damage, but they have some form of ailment that they put onto the hero as well. And negative 25% accuracy, it's pretty decent. Alright, so let's see the special skill. Goblin Serenade, average speed. Wither, all enemies get minus 250 attack. So all these goblins, they have a new mechanic, growth and wither. Wither is reducing enemies attack and or defense. For growth, you increase allies attack and or defense. So you can see here, modified ability score remain even if the character is defeated. Modified ability score can't be removed with dispels or cleansers. Additional wither and growth effects modify the ability scores further, and it can only be increased to a maximum of 170% of the original value, but it can't be reduced to lower than 30% of the original value. Other buffs and debuffs are applied to modified ability scores. This effect is less effective against monsters and titans, so obviously they want to put that in. And this kind of, like, if you have someone who has growth on your offense against someone who has wither on their offense, so it kind of cancels out each other. But I think this one can help. It's kind of counterproductive because this one, with this goblin family bonus, you're kind of trying to speed up the game, and with this wither, you're actually going for the long game because you can try to wither them as much as possible, so that it allows your special skill to kind of deal a lot more damage. So maybe we'll see that in the future, more heroes getting wither and growth to kind of pad up the stats or reduce enemy stats. Reduces max health of all enemies by 600. Wow, the effect is stronger against targets with boosted health, so can't get lower than 30% original max health, and any boosted health is also reduced by 600. And all enemies get negative 45% defense against special skills for 4 turns. Average speed with this amount, this reminds me of like Aradia, with even better kind of like synergy you can use with some of your green heroes, and especially like there are certain green heroes where I'm trying to think of a hero that actually hits all. You could use her first, like this one is, you could see her being in like an event hero as well, replacing what do you call it, Grace, or in addition to like Hamatars or something like that. Is really strong. I think this one is really good, especially when you can combine this with like another green that hits all or hits 3 really hard. That negative 45% defense against special skill will be crazy, and at the same time, getting negative 250 attack for all enemies means they're gonna hit you less painfully. Really strong hero. The next featured one, oh my god, do I really have to scroll all the way? They really need to stop it while I hover onto one of the heroes. So the next one is, okay, so we went through Smart Tongue, so next is Deadboot. Deadboot 5-star purple. So I think they're all the same family bonus and special skills effects, so we're gonna leave that away. 5 Unhallowed Spirits, very fast speed. Lifts all dispellable status effect buffs from the target and randomly distribute them on allies. You see this on Ithar as well. And people who know me know that Ithar is one of my favorite heroes as well. Deals 375% damage to a target, deals additional 50% damage per transferred status effect buffs up to 625% damage in total. With her, the target gets negative 160 defense. So apart from, like, this one you can like kind of steal forces. You see a lot, so you kind of steal forces. Taunt, and if he activates his passive, he gets like critical chance as well, so you got to take that away. So you deal up to additional 50%. So if you take 2 buffs away, that's 100%, so that's 475% damage at very fast speed. This guy is crazy good. Like, it's not even funny. This guy is just brutal. And apart from that, you get negative 160 defense as well, so your defense for forces is lowered as well. Jeez, this guy is crazy. Like, you can even do this against like Ludwig, for example, and if you can like transfer, remember the paladin buffs, the paladin buff as well is transferable, so that's 3 buffs in total if you get to steal his taunt. So taunt, defense against special skills, and the paladin buff, so you get 3, so it's 525% damage. Jeez, wow, this guy is strong. Deadboot is strong, way stronger than Smart Tongue. I don't think Deadboot would be like the highlight here. I think people will be taking Deadboot over others, but let's have a look at the others. Dark Feather, 5-star purple druid. The Eagle's Blessing, average speed, recovers 25% health for all allies. All allies get 125 attack and 125 defense, so this grows. All allies have 50% chance to deal 270% damage to a random enemy after any subsequent allied special skill is cast for 3 turns. So this reminds you something of like Odette, except you don't have that drawback where no, you actually do. So Odette, what happens with Odette is if you kill Odette, then the skill ceases to resolve. But if you would have to have a dispeller to kind of dispel this from all allies. Wow, so pretty decent as well. I like that they have a little bit of heal here, although the heal can be insignificant, but the growth, as if you keep casting this, as you go on, if you're trying to prolong the game, I can see this being an absolute terror. So not bad as well. Pretty decent, but not at the same level of Deadboot. I think Deadboot is like really, really strong here. This one feels like a much lesser power level compared to like someone like Deadboot here. The final 5-star goblin that is here, Cattle, 5-star blue cleric. Dubious Cuisine, slow speed. Cook random food for special effect, so they give you the chances, which is different than Rumpelstiltskin. I think it's Rumpelstiltskin and what's the other one, Maligna, are all equal. This one is basically having 2 of the special skills. Let's read them first. Exquisite Food recovers 50% health for all allies, and all allies get 280 defense for growth. Rotten Food deals 350% damage to all enemies. All enemies receive 1,255 poison damage over 5 turns. And Catastrophic Kitchen Failure deals 100% damage to all allies and all enemies. They have a 45% chance for either Exquisite Food or Rotten Food, which means you either get a 45% chance to heal or 45% chance to deal damage. And there's also a 10% chance where you deal damage to yourself and to enemies as well. So this is a much better kind of like Rumpelstiltskin kind of hero. Although at slow speed, I don't know if you would really use this, because let's face it, at slow speed, I mean, you're only gonna probably have this effect up like once or twice, and in a game, in a match, like, you wouldn't need to really hit like exquisite food or rotten food. So if one of the times you hit catastrophic kitchen failure, then it's actually not so good of a hero anymore. So unless you can kind of speed him up to somewhere around like fast or average speed, then maybe I could see a benefit for him. But otherwise, I'm not really sold on this hero at all. So we kind of have two really strong goblins, legendary goblins, and then two kind of like mediocre, semi okay kind of goblins as well. So I guess they featured the good ones, and then you have this Dark Feather and Kettle as like the side ones that people might just get to collect. Also, there is this chance for 2 times the legendary. Whenever you summon a legendary goblin, you get a second different legendary goblin for free. So before I do some pulls here, let's look at the 4-star Goldie 4-star Paladin. Recovers 38% health for all allies at average speed. All allies get plus 100 attack. Oh, that's good. All allies reflect status ailments to a random character on the opposing team for 3 turns. This looks like a kitty that that has that burst heal as well as giving allies additional attack. So I would say this takes over kitty, like in Rush Wars. I would say being able to heal immediately is kind of good. Plus you get that added bonus that if they hit her, you're removing boosted health from all enemies as well. So it helps that it helps counter those heroes who are all those defenses who are using double costume Vivica as well, or Aramis as well. So yeah, really good. The final one, Boots, is a 3-star red barbarian goblin, Hammer Thump. Average speed, deals 200% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get negative 40 attack and negative 40 defense. Wow. And then the target and nearby enemies get negative 35% defense for 3 turns. If the effect is removed before the duration ends, the target with the effect suffers 181 damage. Would be interesting to see how this functions in like in events. Like I would think this guy would be pretty good for events. It's just that how would you pair this up with like Cornell, or maybe something whether are you going to fire this first and then fire Cornell, or you fire Cornell and then you fire him and then maybe you're charging him instead. 200% damage to the target and nearby enemies with that attack stat, I think it would be pretty okay. So yeah, pretty decent 3-star and 4-star. Wouldn't be too would be quite happy to get them actually. So we finished the event, so we do have 4 pulls here. I think I'm just gonna do these 4 pulls and call it a day. I'm not really for me, I'm not really too focused on getting any heroes right now. I'm just doing the bare minimum of pulls, just to see what we have. I don't have materials at all, so I don't really bother getting them. I mean, they're gonna return at some point monthly, so not really in a rush to get them. But it would be fun to go against them in defense. I mean, you're probably going to see this a lot in wars as well, or something like that. So who knows? Let's just do all 4 pulls and call it a day. Remain as usual. Remember, the odds are pretty low. Let me just show you the odds. Oh, hey, we got the 3-star. Awesome. Let me just show you the odds just to be careful. It's a 0.5% chance to get a legendary event hero, so you want to be careful. I mean, it's not all the time that you're going to get them, so be mindful of the odds. But although if you do hit a legendary, you'll get a chance for 2 times. You'll get a chance to get a random second legendary goblin. So you know what, let's just do some sacrificial pulls. See what we can get. Rare, who knows, whatever. Epic. Rare, epic. So the next one we do is a legendary hero. Who knows? Nah. too much hope lying on that. But anyways, as I said, I'm not too invested in getting any of these heroes, so I'll just leave it at that. And good luck if anybody is pulling, and if you get Smart Tongue, Deadwood, Dark Feather or Kettle, congratulations. I'll catch you guys on the next video. GG.